I just want to share this with you because this is going on right now. It's happening in labs around the world, not just in the country. But an article here from Discover magazine. Headline is Scientists Put a Human Intelligence Gene into a Monkey and Other Scientists Are Concerned. The goal of this work, led by geneticist Bing Su of Kunming Institute of Zoology, this is in China, investigating how a gene linked to brain size might contribute to the evolution of the organs in humans. All primates have some variation of this gene. However, compared with other primates, our brains are larger, more advanced, and slower to develop. So the researchers wondered whether or not they could do something by putting human genes into monkeys. So they injected, what am I hearing? Yeah, but this is serious business. They injected 11 rhesus macaque embryos with a virus containing the human version of this gene. The brains of what they're calling now transgenic monkeys, those with the human gene, developed at a slower pace akin to that of a human than those in the transgene-free monkeys. That doesn't sound like a very good band name. The transgene-free monkeys. That's already been done. And by the time they were 2 to 3 years old, the transgenic monkeys performed better and answered faster on short-term memory tests involving matching colors and shapes. However, there weren't any differences in brain size or any other behaviors. But the results aren't what the scientific community is buzzing about. Some people question the ethics of inserting a human brain gene into a monkey, an action that Rebecca Walker, a bioethicist at the University of North Carolina, argues could be the start of a slippery slope toward imbuing animals with human-like intelligence. In a 2010 paper, James Sikela, a geneticist at the University of Colorado School of Medicine, and co-authors asked whether a humanized monkey would fit into its society or would live in inhumane conditions due to its altered genes. You know, the headline is that they're putting human intelligence genes into monkeys and other scientists are concerned. I would be concerned if I were the other monkeys. I mean, if I were a monkey that didn't have the human intelligence, I'd be worried about those monkeys that did, because they would, I mean, talk about Planet of the Apes.
Some apes, it seems, are more equal than others.
I would be more worried about the monkeys that have the human intelligence. To justify his work, Sue and his co-authors suggested that it could provide insights into neurodegenerative and social disorders, but they don't describe what those applications might be. He said, I don't really see anything in the paper that would make me think that experiment was necessarily a good idea, says Walker, who was referenced earlier in the article. Sue declined Discover's request for a comment, but said in an article in China Daily, scientists agree that monkey models are at times irreplaceable for basic research, especially in studying human physiology, cognition, and disease. And in the research paper, the authors contend that relatively large phylogenetic distance, about 25 million years of divergence from humans, alleviates ethical concerns. I don't think so. I really don't think it's a great idea to be putting human genetics into monkey embryos so that these monkeys have some kind, whatever it may be, some kind of enhanced human-like intelligence. Remember I talked about the fish that they have a picture of? I talked about this just recently, about this fish. It has very straight teeth, as if they're human teeth. This is a fish with human teeth. I talked about Mr. Limpet. Remember Don Knotts played him? It's a movie. I said it was a TV program. It was a movie where Don Knotts, he falls in love with a fish. I know this is somewhat far-fetched. He falls in love with a fish, and then he turns into a fish when he goes into the water, and the incredible Mr. Limpet is a human fish. It's kind of like that. And this fish picture shows a fish with perfectly straight human teeth. You can tell that he had been to the orthodontist, because that fish's teeth are straighter than most human beings. And I theorized on how did that happen. Well, I think it's this kind of thing, where you've got the scientists who are monkeying around, in this case with monkeys, and putting in human genomes into the monkeys and not entirely sure what's going to happen down the road. And so the ethicists are saying this is not a good idea. And the CRISPR gene editing technique, for example, which is being used in some cases, that's very worrisome, because what will these monkeys become? And will they even be monkeys? as time wears on. So this kind of Frankenstein lab experiment stuff, to me, is an example of something that I've said many times, and that is that it is just because we can do something doesn't mean we can or should. I'm sorry, I didn't say it right. Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should do something. And there are some things that we really should avoid doing. So I think the ethicists are right to be concerned about this. I'm concerned about it, and I hope that this will not go too much further down that road. I'd like to see it not go any further than it is right now. Well, we got to take a break. I'll be right back with more right after this.
For more of The Patrick Madrid Show, visit relevantradio.com/Patrick.
Who's touching these monkeys? Please leave these poor sick monkeys alone. They got problems enough as it is.